serving God, and you will return and see the difference between the righteous and the wicked, between those who serve God and those who serve God not. There are two types of in-betweener, those who serve God and those who do not serve God. Those who do not serve God are not wicked, but merely passionless, lacking a sense of self strong enough to ignite selfish desires or deeds. They keep the way of God by default, which is why they are said not to serve God at all. The true servant of God actively arouses a love for God. This can be done in two ways. First, by immersing the intellect in the infinite spaciousness of God. Second, by arousing the passion for God resting within the right side of the heart. Both are ways of serving God, but only the way of immersion is called perfect service. When you return to your divine nature, Penema, you will see clearly and act godly. Malachi 3:18. Though Malachi is clearly talking about two types of people, the righteous who serve God, serving God. Malachi 3:18. Though Malachi is clearly talking about two types of people, the righteous who serve God and the wicked who do not, the Alter Rebbe takes the passage to refer to four kinds of people: the Zadok righteous, the Rasha wicked, the in-betweener who serves God, and the in-betweener who does not. They practice the mitzvot simply because it never occurs to them to be otherwise. Immersing the intellect in the infinite spaciousness, Gadlut of the infinite Godhead Ein Sof introduces a self-emptying ecstasy, Bittul Hayesh, that engulfs all form of Yesh, even the Kalipad Noga and Sitra Achra, and the emptiness Ein of God. The way of self-emptying ecstasy is called perfect or complete because it leaves nothing untouched. The in-betweener who serves God is a passionate, feeling person who is troubled by the competing voices of the heart and who learns to honor the left side of selfishness by aligning it with the right side of godliness. The ailment comes about in three ways. Malachi 3:18. The alignment comes about in three ways. Some for whom passions are weak conform their actions to the good by adhering strictly to the mitzvot, sacred commandments. This is the way of nefesh, the way of doing. Some for whom passions are stronger focus their attention on the heart's innate yearning for God, doing what is right as a lover seeks to please the beloved. This is the way of ruach, the way of feeling. Others for whom passions are strong, but who find themselves drawn more to the mind than the heart, set their mind to the contemplation of God's infinite spaciousness, and in so doing empty themselves completely into the one. Second, by arousing the passion for God resting within the right hand of the heart. Both are ways of serving God, but only the way of immersion is called perfect service. Serving God, and you will return and see the difference between the righteous and the wicked, between those who serve God and those who serve God not. There are two types of in-betweener, those who serve God and those who do not serve God. Those who do not serve God are not wicked, but merely passionless. The essential task of those who serve God is to surrender the selfish passions to the divine light of intellect by meditating on the spaciousness of God. Contemplating God's spaciousness stokes the love of God in the bright side of your heart, inflaming a yearning for God so strong as to align all your deeds with godliness. If such passion is alien to you, do not despair, for you can love God rationally even if you do not do so emotionally. Such love is called comprehension, or the intellectual love of God, and it too aligns your deeds with godliness, as our sages taught. Holy One, blessed be He, joins a good thought to the deed. Intellect cycle is composed of intuitive wisdom, chokmah, rational understanding, bina, and integrated knowledge to add. Doing justly, loving mercy, and walking humbly. Tevunah is an intellectual understanding of God's non-duality that engages the self without emptying the self. The experience of union in, with, and as God triggers a bliss so intense as to temporarily erase your very sense of self. The experience of union in, with, and as God triggers a bliss so intense as to temporarily erase your very sense of self. Your sense of independence, neshama, is absorbed into the larger sense of interdependence, chaya, and both dissolve into the non-duality of God as the only true reality, yechida. Yet not everyone is comfortable with this goal, and for those who are not, there is a lesser but still profound awakening called Tevuna, comprehension. Tevuna is the good thought, the thought of God's non-duality, shlemut, that no less than ecstatic union aligns your actions with godliness. Imagine two people listening to a great symphony. One is lost in the exquisite beauty of the sound, oblivious to self. The other, visualizing the score in her mind, is no less awed, yet in no way lost. The first is experiencing Bittul Hayesh, the emptying of all things into Ein, the nothing. The second is experiencing Tabuna, intellectual rapture. Bittul is superior to Tabuna, both align you with God in godliness. The practice of comprehension, loving God intellectually. You can understand the verse, for this thing is very near to you, in your mouth and in your heart, that you may do it. The it is tevuna, the rational love of God. For while ecstasy is not for everyone, reason is. You can contemplate God's infinity at any time, and when you do, you will generate at least this rational love that leads to godly action. This is true even for the wicked whose deeds give no life, for rational love can shatter the iron wall that separates them from God. Why? Because even rational love leads to remorse, and remorse to a broken heart, and a broken heart to goodness, as it is written, the sacrifices to God are a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart. Tevunah, Deuteronomy 30:14. The Alter Rebbe will refer to this verse again and again, parsing it to reveal deeper and deeper layers of truth. Talmud Berachot, the wicked are considered dead even in life, for their actions serve only themselves. Goodness surrounds Makif. The practice. Goodness surrounds Makiv. The heart, like the sea, surrounds the hull of a ship. If the hull should crack, the sea rushes in. It is the same with the heart and goodness. Again, we find the Alter Rebbe refusing to write off even the wicked, for everyone is a manifestation of God and can awaken to God. If this is so, then awakening is neither esoteric nor difficult to achieve. On the contrary, it is in your mouth and in your heart that you may do it. Deuteronomy 30:14. In other words, every person, no matter how alienated from God, and others he or she may feel himself or herself to be, is innately capable of shattering the iron wall of separation, Kelipat no Gahao, through the cultivation of the intellect cycle. When you devote your mind to contemplating the infinite expanse of God, you begin to realize that you are a part of that. Understanding that God's Ahava Rabba, God's infinite love, must embrace even the most alienated and lost, you begin to doubt the absoluteness of your alienation. When you devote your mind to contemplating the infinite expanse of God, you begin to realize that you are a part of that. Understanding that God's Ahava Rabbah, God's infinite love, must embrace even the most alienated and lost, you begin to doubt the absoluteness of your alienation. The iron wall you imagined separating you from God begins to crack, and when it does, goodness seeps in, slowly hollowing out the Kalipanoga so that it becomes more and more transparent to the light of God. The nature of wisdom. For this thing is very near to you. What is this thing that is very near? For some it may be self-emptying. For others it may be rational love. But these still require a level of effort and practice that may not be available to everyone. The it that is near must be near to all, and this it is wisdom. When you devote your mind. nature of wisdom, for this thing is very near to you. What is this thing that is very near? For some it may be self-emptying, and for others it may be rational love, but these still require a level of effort and practice that may not be available to everyone. The it that is near must be near to all, and this it is wisdom. For wisdom rests within all things, as it is written, God founded the earth in wisdom, and in wisdom you have made them all. Further, wisdom fills all life, as it is written, wisdom gives life to those who possess it. Wisdom is the capacity to intuit the essence of all things, the faculty by which you glimpse the true nature of what is, and what is God, and wisdom reveals the presence of God even to the most foolish and ignorant, as it is written, I am foolish and ignorant, I am a beast before you, I am constantly with you. Deuteronomy 30:14. The nature of wisdom, for this thing is very near to you. Deuteronomy 30:14, Bittul, Tevuna, everything from quarks to quasars has its own level of consciousness, its own innate wisdom and intelligence. Proverbs 3:19, Psalm 104:24, Ecclesiastes 7:12. The Alter Rebbe is reading this text unconventionally, rather than assume the it that is possessed is, as the text clearly intends, wisdom. He assumes it refers to life. In this way, the text reads, wisdom gives life to all the living. Wisdom is the life force itself. The Alter Rebbe is playing with the word kokma, wisdom, defining it as the capacity to know the essence kok of what is ma. The essence. That essence is God. Psalm 73:22, no matter how foolish or ignorant you are, even if you act in a manner. Deuteronomy 30. Psalm 73:22, no matter how foolish or ignorant you are, even if you act in a manner that denies your humanity, still God is with you, and the wisdom to know God and act godly is never lost to you. The promise of the Tanya is that anyone can awaken to God as the source and substance of all reality, and in so doing, turn from evil and do good. This promise is rooted in the idea that all people are innately capable of intuiting the unity of God, manifest as the multiplicity of creation. This capability is called Kokma, wisdom. Kokma is the first of the three mothers of the three faculties, along with rational understanding and integrative knowledge that compose your intellect cycle. Kokma is not reserved for the righteous, but is given freely to all, even the foolish and inhumane. The challenge is not to earn wisdom, but to access the wisdom already inside of you. No matter how foolish or ignorant you are, even if you act in a manner that denies your humanity. Ooh, I think that's a cut. I hope you enjoyed.